It's War Dragon time, and RPW here with another video to the Atlas Explorer series. Now I know I was going to do another one, but today we're going to go over alliance building because I think that is super important right now. I really thought this over last night and come up with, I think, some really cool strategies that'll help all of you out there so that you can build your alliances. Now this is mostly an issue, of course, for platinum level teams, but if anybody else above that is having this issue, then maybe you can do the same. Now, the glory hunting video that I promised you yesterday did not come, and only because there was so much happening. There was a lot of drama and so forth, but that should be coming either later today or tomorrow. Now, one of the best ways to support my channel is to show me a little love by hitting that subscribe button, and then you could always push that thumbs up if you like my video, of course. But make sure you hit that bell for notifications and don't be afraid to comment below. All right, let's go ahead and jump in here. Like I said, today's subject is alliance building, and I think that right now there are a lot of platinum teams out there that are looking for an alliance. They're reaching up and looking for something up in Sapphire or in Diamond, but this isn't always the best case. Now, there are cases where that works, especially if they follow down their path of, their alt teams, for example. But you've got to think of alliances as the marriage of teams. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Now, ancient kingdoms allied through marriage. So this is a literal common concept. Two houses would actually become one. So marriages were commonly used in ancient kingdoms as peaceful measures to form alliances to prevent wars, which would, of course, bring massive losses to their people, but also their resources. So this was one way ancient kingdoms found to be able to bring an alliance together. Now, this didn't always work out, and there are some things that prevented these types of alliances. Now, each kingdom held their own status. Larger kingdoms were worth more than smaller kingdoms. Now, a successful alliance always held a common ground. Now, why is this? If King D and King P were different sizes, imagine the alliance between them. What would unify them besides the marriage of children? Now, King D will be much more powerful, of course, which is going to make for a very difficult balancing act. A lot of times it's best to have a nice balanced alliance. Now, why is this? Well, imagine an alliance between, of course, King D and King P where they did unify through marriage. Now, most alliances will actually have success on common ground, right? But what prevents the other kingdom from taking the other? Well, it's because they're equal in measure. Their stature, their resources, their strength of their armies, and so forth. So this is how many successful alliances held a common ground. But the thing is, there are kingdoms, and this is historical, where they would reach out for larger kingdoms to ally for their protection. Now, unfortunately, this was not always the first choice of the smaller kingdom. There were times when larger kingdoms would say, look, if you don't ally with us, we'll take you over. Do you want to lose your family? So that would happen. Now, there was other times where a small kingdom would be surrounded by other kingdoms that were, slightly larger, and they would reach out for another kingdom in the distance for protection and trade for something they may have. Now, unfortunately, many times over, if we look back into history, those small kingdoms were eventually conquered, either by the nearby enemies because the larger kingdom could not support them from that distance, or because the larger kingdom decided to take them over. And this has happened. And this is historically, not in the game, of course. I'm talking literal people across the world in ancient times. Now, why does this even, associate? Why does this even matter? Well, guys, there is a little secret I'm going to let you in on. You can use history to your advantage, not only in life, but in this game. So I'm not saying that if you reach out to a larger alliance that it's not going to work out, because there's historical times that did, that it was a very peaceful situation. But I do want to let you know that there are going to be some repercussions that could happen to some teammates, or teams, I should say. In fact, I've gotten a few emails of some things that's actually happened in the last week as to what I'm talking about. So what can we do with this history to ensure that our teams have success here in Atlas? Well, number one, you can try to reach out to other teams that are equal to you. Now, for example, if you're a Platinum League 3 team and you reach out to anybody else in any of the leagues in Platinum, you may want to make sure that their sizing is about similar to yours when it comes to their sizes. Now, I get that if you look up into Sapphire, the sizes might be the same, but Sapphires are going to have a lot more Primarchs and troops than you, having so much more time in here. Now, but why would you be able to do this? Could you even stand together as 5 equal teams? Yes, you can. Now, in the world of Atlas, it's not just your level and the size of your team. A lot of times it is also the size of your Primarchs and your troops and so forth. Now, if you're all sitting on level 2 lands, then, and you're working together, you're not going to find a lot of higher league like Diamond trying to come in and take your stuff anyways. So if you stand together, then you just might be able to make a difference together. So I'll go over in a little bit more detail how this can really work for you in a minute. But let's first go over what would the incentive be for equal teams to join you? You know, what can you offer them? You're not able to offer them the protection, for example, that maybe a Sapphire team or a Diamond team could offer. So what is it you can offer? Well, I'll tell you right now, there is not any kind of random reasons that PG pulled out the number 5 as your maximum amount of alliances. Now, what else in this game, particularly in Atlas, will you find exactly 5 of? If you guessed literally elemental resources, give yourself a pat on the back, because that is exactly what there are 5 of in this Atlas. So with that being said, let's say you find a team that has gathered up 5 or more castles, maybe 1 or 2 properties, level 2 land over on the other side of the map. Now, they're a Platinum team. They're somewhat equal to you. You know that you both have an equal time here in Atlas. So you can easily reach out to them and say, look, I would like for you to join the ally and we can trade castles. And then I'm going to, of course, find some others to do the same. So we can all share in on these resources. Now, this is a common act that has made our world grow today. Literally, the countries of today grew because of this exact secret. It's called trade. So all you have to do is set up your own trade with other alliances. Now, this is literally how today most countries control and punish one another, is by controlling the influx and the outflux of different resources and products. So it literally still happens today. But you can't necessarily ship resources like that. So how is this going to work? Well, there is a way, and I think I figured it out, and it's called land sharing. Okay, so you get 5 teams together on 5 different elemental zones, and they each have 1 castle on 5 different lands. Wait a minute. If you're especially new in Atlas, how are you supposed to keep up with 5 different castles? That is a lot of work, right? Well, one of the things is you don't want to. You may want to go up maybe a level or 2 on the infrastructures, but nothing beyond. And then this way, each land has its own king. Now, each king of each land will build up their very own castle. That will be the castle that protects all of the other castles in your alliance. So this way, all the other alliances have to do is pay the upkeep for the other castles. And like I said, maybe take everything on the infrastructure up 2 levels. Now, this way, they can also go focus in on the strength and the building of their own castle on their own zone. Now, what if a team decides to leave? Let's say a team does leave the alliance. This is a simple solution. For example, let's say the king of the fire castle leaves the alliance. Then each of you can easily reach out and, of course, take out and conquer the castle that he owns on your land, and then reach out to another, team out there that has a area in the fire and say, look, we would like for you to join our alliance. We lost our member. And then you get your next element back. Now, if everybody works together, I don't think this will be much of an issue because they're going to understand the value in this. Now, let's say for for some reason the alliance holder folds instead. Well, in this case, all you have to do is go take the smaller level castles that are on each of your lands, once again, that belongs to that team, and then form your alliance back together and find someone to replace them. Now, with this being said, like I said before, I think that this is going to be one of those things where everyone's going to understand the importance of this, and it's going to be very easy to maintain for a long time. Now, this does not mean that your kingdom cannot grow. You are more than welcome to go grab extra land around you or in other locations. However, I wouldn't let this be what helps you end an alliance with another person. You know, this can get you a bad reputation. It could make you unalliable later. You need to stick together. Now, how would owning a castle in 5 different zones help your team? Well, that's pretty easy. All you have to think of is the refinery key facts we went over recently. In the refinery, you will be able to increase crafting materials in events and with poachers. Now, these are elemental specific. So having one on each specific land is going to allow you to have them on all elements. Now, of course, leveling up that refinery will even allow you some more. So if everybody levels up, a few, then this is going to help you a lot. Of course, I would make an agreement with one another in your alliance that you come up with a maximum cap that each can make their castles, just so you feel more comfortable that they can't build up on yours and then take you out, and then vice versa. So that would be a great way to keep the comfort of your alliance. Now, with this being said, I advise all of you go out today, reach out and find your alliances. You can scroll around the map and look for specific zones. You could, make a post in Facebook or your chat rooms in line. You could even get an LC and talk to them, as well as, maybe if you have a friend or family member that's on other teams as well. So this is what I would be doing next, is finding your alliances. Now, if you're already in an alliance with a higher league team and it's working out for you, then don't fret, guys. That is not a big deal. Now, of course, just because a kingdom has a lot more status than you or a lot stronger than you does not mean that they're necessarily wanting to take you over either. A lot of diamond level teams are not really interested in, like I said, level 2 lands. So if a diamond team is backing you up, there is probably a specific reason for it, and that is awesome. So just be careful who you choose, and if you can't find anybody, this is a great option for you and your fellow teammates in Platinum. All right, guys, that is it for today. Don't forget to check back later, either today or tomorrow, on the next video of glory hunting. Now, hopefully that'll be later today or tomorrow. But before I let you all go, I just want to thank all of those supporters out there supporting my channel from the bottom of my heart, because your support has meant the world to me. If you liked today's video, don't forget before you leave to give me a big thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and you can also hit that bell so you get notifications. Happy hunting!